So the first card you have for your past is the Knight of Wands. So this is about, if you look at this knight, he looks like he's kind of rushing towards something, he wants to do something, but he's a bit out of control. The horse is out of control, so he wants to go somewhere, and the horse is kind of bucking up and down and jumping all over the place. So I'm seeing that someone who wasn't around you at this time was thinking about you. They wanted to take action. They wanted to come and probably talk to you or come towards you. They were thinking of you probably romantically at this time, but they kind of didn't want to look foolish or silly. They might have been a bit self-conscious. They might have been a bit worried about what you'd think of them. And they just didn't want to look out of control like this knight. I'm just getting the sense that whoever this was really wanted to tell you something. They probably wanted to tell you how they felt about you, but not... They did in a way, but they still had a lot of other problems around them as well. So they were kind of, their lives were a little bit out of control. I'm seeing that. They didn't want to look like a fool. They didn't want to look silly, but they also felt that they weren't ready to approach you. And I think this person felt like they weren't ready to approach anyone, really. They weren't ready to kind of come out into the world, and they might have been hiding away really even, or something like that, because they just felt like they didn't have things in control. But I am seeing that they did want to come and talk to you. They really felt like that's what they wanted to do, but they felt like they just couldn't do it. They'd look silly or stupid, or you might laugh at them, or you might not think they were good enough, or something like that. That's what I'm seeing. They didn't want to be out of control. They didn't want to feel out of control, and they didn't want to look out of control to you. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have, your past, is the Hierophant. So yeah, this is a bit strange, because I'm getting this feeling of you may be doing the same thing, but for different reasons. You didn't want to look silly. I mean, it's not that you felt like you were going to look silly in front of them or any of that. These were different reasons for you. You weren't contacting them. You weren't going and making any contact or coming toward this person. Sorry about that. But this was for another reason, and I think maybe it was because you just felt that they weren't interested in you, because they weren't saying anything or doing anything or indicating that's how they were feeling to you. So you might have been feeling that you were just going to move on from this. They weren't interested. There's no point. I'm just not going to do this because I know this person doesn't want me, and if someone doesn't want me, I'm not going to chase them. You might have been feeling like that. So I think that's how you're acting physically, and that's how your mind was. But I think your heart really did want them. I think your heart was really still with them, I think. Yeah, it's like you couldn't get close to them, and you didn't want to chase them if that's how they made you feel. That's what I'm seeing. If you look at this Hierophant, there are two monks in front of him, and they're listening to him. They're kind of listening, learning from him, becoming enlightened, or whatever they're doing. But they look a bit like guards, stopping people from getting close to them, stopping people from approaching this Hierophant. And so you felt like there was something in the way stopping you from getting close to them, and it was the way they were acting toward you, or not acting. It was like they were acting as if they weren't interested at all. They might have been not even bothering to contact you, or it looked like that to you, but the real reason was because they felt really a bit embarrassed about themselves, actually. That's what I'm seeing in this. So yeah, I don't think you were contacting them at all. I think physically you were trying to kind of get away from them. Physically you weren't connected to them, but deep down I think you really wanted to manifest something with them. You really did want to manifest something with this person. You couldn't help yourself. Your heart was telling you don't bother with them, but your mind was telling you not to bother with them, but your heart was saying, oh, I can't help how I feel. I just want to be with them. That's what I'm seeing. And now one of the monks on this card also has red roses on his tunic. So red roses are about manifesting again. But nothing was being done. You weren't doing anything to manifest this, and they weren't either. That's what I'm seeing. The last card you have for your past is the Six of Wands. Now, Yeah, this is the victory card. This is the victory card. This is about parading through the town in victory. This is what used to happen. I mean, in Renaissance Italy, when a battle was won, the leader of the battle would kind of parade around on a horse through the town, and the people would cheer and say, "Hooray, isn't that wonderful, you won this battle?" And they kind of had their heads up, they're proud, their backs are straight, and they're going along. "I'm so proud of myself, this is my victory parade." And that's how this person would have liked you to see them. Very different to the man on the horse in the Knight of Wands that's jumping up and down out of control. This horse is totally in control. This man is kind of victoriously going along in a parade, looking very proud of themselves. This is how they wanted you to see them. They didn't want you to see them in their mess, looking crazy. And you didn't mind. It didn't bother you. You wanted to be, you wanted a real person. You didn't mind. You wanted them good, bad, everything else. You really did not mind. But I think they might have just been trying to maybe get themselves together, get their lives together, not just for you, but for everything in their life. They just felt really down. They felt like they weren't good enough. They felt like they really had to be more like the Six of Wands than the Knight of Wands. So yeah, I just think that, I think they might have had a bit of an unrealistic idea of what they had to be like to really talk to you or anyone else. They're a little bit down about themselves. That's what I'm seeing. Because, life can't always be like that. You can't always be on parade perfectly going past, with everyone cheering at you. It's not like that. There are ups and downs in life. And I think you understand that not everyone has fantastic life all the time. Everyone has ups and downs. People have problems in their life. People fall off. People lose their jobs. People have heartbreak. All sorts of things happen. And you know that. But I think, this is what their mindset was. They just wanted to get themselves into order before they came toward you or anyone else. They might have been in hiding, actually. The first card you have for your present is the Five of Wands. Yes, so here's more wands, and here is more of a mess. I mean, look at the mess in this card. So this is how they're feeling about themselves. They might be thinking to themselves, I'm a mess. I'm a total mess. I just cannot get a handle on my life. It's just totally out of control. I can't expect anyone to want to be with me. I can't expect anyone to even want to talk to me when I'm like this. So I think, they have a lot of problems. I'm seeing a lot of problems around work with them. They might have even been out of work. It might have been that bad. I'm seeing that, their self-esteem could be tied to their work or their job or something like that as well. And either they're really unhappy in their job or they're unemployed. It might be one or the other thing. They definitely do not feel in charge of their life. I keep on seeing that. And also I'm feeling this pressure around them as well. They might be feeling as if they're under pressure from someone around them. I'm seeing someone who is trying to kind of give them a bit of kind of what you call tough love, saying, do this, do that, that's not right, no, you should do this. But it's not helping them. It's actually making them feel worse. That's what I'm seeing. It's really not helping their confidence. If they had someone to build up their confidence, it might help them to do better with themselves, but it's really not helping. So they're stuck in this really difficult situation. I don't think this person's helping them at all. They should really distance themselves from whoever this is. They're going through this terrible inner battle and this person isn't helping. That's what I'm seeing. This person actually could be a family member around them. And I think they might be either trying to help them or they might be either saying all these things to them because they actually aren't a very nice person. It's one or the other. They're either trying to be tough and caring to kind of push them, or they might be just not a nice person. Whatever it is, whatever reason it is not helping them. It really is not. The next card you have for your present is the Two of Swords. So, I know I'm going to sound repetitive here, but this is what I keep on seeing. There's a situation between you where you're thinking about each other, but nobody's moving forward. Nobody is taking action. And again, I think you don't realize why this person isn't coming forward to you. You might be telling yourself or trying to tell yourself just to move on. They're not interested. Why would I want to talk to them or speak to them or even think about them if they're not interested in me? I'm just going to try and move on. I'm not going to think about them. If they wanted me, they'd come toward me, and they're not doing that. All of that is going through your mind. And you're physically moving on, you're physically doing that. But again, your heart is not moving on. Your heart is speaking louder than your head. Your heart is speaking louder than your head with the way you're feeling. Now, I think you're trying to close this off. You're trying not to feel this. You're trying to put your heart down, to push it down so that it doesn't pop up again and hurt you. You're trying to do everything you can, take your mind off things, keep busy, all of that kind of thing. Because the woman on this card, she has her swords crossed over her heart. She's crossing her heart. She's saying, no, I'm not going to let myself feel this. And that's what you're doing. You might be thinking, there's no point in feeling anything if they don't feel the same. I'm not going to feel like that. I'm not going to bother with them. I just need to move on. And, one of you is going to have to reach out at some time. And I'm seeing that one of you probably will sometime. But, there's this battle with you between your heart and your head. That's what I'm seeing. And it's because they're not reaching out to you. But they're not reaching out to you for other reasons, not because they're not interested in you. That's what I'm seeing. It's really, really difficult. The last card you have for your present is the Ten of Pentacles. So I keep on seeing this family member around this person. Obviously, this card has a family in it. They're not communicating properly in this card. I mean, there's a couple in the middle. They're not talking. They're kind of walking past each other. There's an old man. He's not talking to anyone. He's interested in his dogs. There's a little boy who's obviously being a bit naughty, going to pull this dog's tail. They're not talking to anyone either. Nobody's talking to anyone. So the communication is not happening properly. And that's right, the communication is not happening properly between this family member and this person. So I think there might be someone in this family, or all of the family might have very high expectations of this person, and maybe they might have unrealistic expectations. These are expectations about earnings, around money, because obviously this is about coins. And I think any achievement that's seen as below these kind of expectations might be viewed as a failure by this family, especially around this specific person. Because if you look at these coins, they're placed over the family, on top of the family. They're not in the scene, they're kind of placed over the scene. So whoever this is putting money, coins, status, all of that kind of thing above caring for the person. That's what I'm seeing. So this is quite a horrible situation this person's in. They don't like it. It's really destroying their confidence. And, they really, really need to get away from this influence. But I don't think they feel strong enough to do that. It's like they don't have the confidence to move away from this, but nobody around them is giving them this confidence. That's what I'm seeing. So it's a kind of a great big mess, really. This is really negative. I'm sorry this is so negative. I don't mean it to be like that. The first card you have for your future is the Three of Swords, yes. So yes, this is the heartbreak card. I'm seeing that, sometimes this card can be about a third party because there are three swords in this, obviously, three people. But I think the only person who I'm seeing is coming between you and this person in the Knight of Wands is this family member, in a kind of an indirect way, because while this person doesn't feel good about themselves, they don't feel that they can come close to you, and this person is making this person feel bad about themselves, if that makes sense. So they might even be a little bit depressed, actually, because they're not taking action, and depression can make you not take action, or they might just be really down in this kind of horrible, stressful thing. So I think, if this resonates, I think maybe they need someone on their side. I don't think they feel like they have anyone on their side at this time. And part of that is because they're not reaching out, because they don't feel good enough. It's a kind of a vicious circle kind of thing, if that makes sense. I think, it's up to you whether you want to contact them or not, of course, and I don't want you to do anything that's going to tip you over the edge emotionally, because you are trying to suppress your emotions around this person. I'm seeing that happening a lot here. But they need a positive influence in their life. They need a positive influence in their life. So if you feel up to it, I think, it would be a good thing if you contacted them. Not to say, oh, I want to be with you, blah, 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 let's get back together, whatever this is. Not for that, but just as a friend, just to say, if you can't handle being their friend, that's okay. Don't do that if you don't want to. Think about your own mental health as well and your own emotions. But if you feel that you can do that, I think it would be a good thing if you did contact them just as a friend and just say, I just want you to know I'm here for you. I want you to know I'm not judging you. And, if you need to talk to me, I'm always here. And I just want you to know I care about you. And I want you to know that, I'm proud of you. And I know that you can do really well. And, I'm on your side. And if you need me to talk to you, if you need anyone to talk to you, I'm always here. I just want you to know that. So you might want to say something like that to them if you can, only if you feel strong enough to do that. So the next card you have for your future is the Queen of Wands. So yes, you are strong. I think you're probably capable of doing this. You're a lot stronger than you think. And yes, you've been through this horrible heart and head battle, and you've been through a lot of other things as well. But you're very, very strong at your heart, at your center, at your core. You're very, very strong. And the Queen of Wands is very strong. She's very organized and she's optimistic as well. So yeah, I think that you've been very organized, especially around your workplace or something around work, because I think, you've been trying not to put your heart up there. You've been trying to kind of put your heart down and not think about your heart and feelings. And because of that reason, that might be why you put so much effort into your work, and you still are. But it's a good thing. I mean, it's been a good thing for your work. And I think you're really going to keep on thriving. I think you're going to be doing even better than you have been. That's what I'm seeing. You're still going to put a lot of energy into your work. You're still going to be very well organized around your work. And I'm actually seeing a meeting, and I'm seeing this meeting is around your work. This is going to be coming up for you. Now, you're prepared for this. I think you know about this and you're prepared for this. You might even be overly prepared, very, very prepared. And I think when you have this meeting, there might be a very difficult person in this meeting, but I think you're ready for them. And I think you're going to have to stand up for yourself, or you're going to have to stand up for something you believe in. But you're going to be really good at this. You're going to do really well at this, because I think you know this person, you know what they're like, you're prepared for them, you're kind of very good with people, and you're going to do well here. You're going to do really well in this meeting. It's going to be a success for you, whatever this is about. This is very positive. I'm just looking at the sunflower that this beautiful queen's holding, and it's facing you, so it's very, very, very positive. So this is a positive outcome I'm seeing in the workplace. So the last card you have for your future is the King of Wands. So again, I'm seeing that, you're someone who's really strong. You're able to get things done in the workplace. I'm seeing work-related things again. And you are going to keep on thriving. You're going to keep on doing very well around work. And again, I'm seeing you relating to people well. And I'm seeing, there's a bit of a contrast here, and that this might be a roadblock for this person as well, about between them coming toward you and contacting you and how they feel about themselves, because I'm seeing they're not doing well in their job, or they don't have a job, or they've got problems in their job, or they don't feel good enough, they don't feel successful enough. But if you look at yourself here, you look very successful in your work, or you look like you're thriving, or you look like you're going somewhere, you mean something, you mean business here. They might be looking at how you're doing and how they're doing and comparing the two, and they might be thinking, wow, this person's doing really well, I really don't want to kind of come and talk to them. They'll say, oh, how's your job going? And I'll say, I don't know what to say, and I'll feel really crazy and bad and silly and horrible. So that might be another big roadblock between you. And I think that You're not like that. You're not competitive in that way. And they're not competitive. It's not this competitive thing. It's just they feel very low about themselves. And when people are low about themselves, they do compare themselves to other people. And sometimes it makes people feel even worse. I mean, if you've lost your job, or you feel depressed, or you feel bad, or you're heartbroken, you go on something like Instagram and there are all these couples kissing on there, and all these people kind of with these great careers, all kind of doing these things with their new clothes and posing, and it makes you feel worse about yourself. So that's how this person's probably feeling. And, I wish I could tell you whether you're going to contact each other or not. I think you probably will. I think you probably will at some time. And whether or not you contact them and as a friend or not, I don't know if you're up to that, but you are strong. So I think, you are capable of it, definitely. But I think, if you do actually get together properly as a couple, I think there's always going to be this perception that they have of themselves that might be of them not being good enough, and it might always be some kind of issue between you, especially because of their upbringing and this family problem and their perceptions of success and what it means, and all of that is tied in with their family. So it's kind of ingrained in them. So I think if you do end up with this person, I think you're always going to be the kind of supporter. You're going to be there kind of making them feel better, kind of telling them, you're okay, you're doing really well, I think you're doing fantastically, you can do this, don't stress, don't feel bad, you'll always be kind of pushing them and trying to be that positive influence on them. That's what I'm seeing is going to happen if you do get together with them properly in a relationship. But for that to happen, they're going to have to get over a lot of these issues that they're going through. And I think, you can, if you want to contact them, I think you are strong enough to do that. But obviously, this is up to you.